Do you have the right to run for public office in North Carolina? Do you have the right to vote for the candidate of your choosing? Hello, I'm Jordon Greene, president and founder of the North Carolinians for Free and Proper Elections. And according to North Carolina, you don't actually have the right to vote for the candidate of your choice or to run for public office. North Carolina law effectively prohibits anyone outside of the two major parties from running for office. According to North Carolina law, if you wish to run for or vote for a candidate outside of the two major parties, your party will be forced to collect literally tens of thousands of signatures, or exactly 85,379 just to get on the ballot in 2010 or 2012. This is just to get that new political party on the ballot and to have the opportunity to present the candidates of that party to the voters, when the established parties have to do nothing extra. This does not count the filing fee for office that every candidate must pay and the monetary cost involved in running an effective campaign for office. Due to these restrictions on the right to vote, North Carolina has some of the nation's most restrictive ballot access laws, with a full 48 states, yes, all but one other, requiring less signatures to get on the ballot than in North Carolina. So why does North Carolina have such restrictive laws on your free speech at the voting booth? And what legitimate interests do they have in putting such high restrictions on the right to vote? We at the North Carolinians for Free and Proper Elections believe the state has no real legitimate interest for such restrictive laws on your liberty and freedom of speech. The state claims that ballot clutter or voter confusion would ensue if we were to ease the restrictions put on the right to vote and allowed more candidates on the election ballot. They even attempt to use the excuse that in presidential election years, North Carolina elects all 10 executive offices as an administrative problem that somehow is more important than your right to vote, and uses this to justify these unjust laws. However, the state fails to meet the test. History and the numbers show that even in states requiring as little as 10,000 signatures, there has never been more than 8 candidates on the election ballot for any given statewide office in any state in the Union. The United States Supreme Court decided in 1968 in a case called Williams v. Rose, and I quote, "The presence of 8 candidacies cannot be said, in light of experience, to carry a significant danger of voter confusion." The state also fails to acknowledge that the election of all executive officers is not sufficient justification as well, as the state of Washington also elects all of its 9 executive branch officers and only requires 1,000 signatures for ballot access for statewide independent candidates, compared to North Carolina's 85,379, and rarely sees more than 4 candidates on the ballot for any office. So what are the North Carolinians for Free and Proper Elections doing about the state's abridgment of one of your most important rights? First, we're attempting to get the word out that North Carolina has a real problem with the right to vote, as many North Carolinians do not realize that there is a problem, since they have simply grown up thinking that this is how it always has been and how it should be. Secondly, we are proposing a piece of legislation called the Electoral Freedom Act of 2011 that is specifically designed to break down the state's undemocratic protections on the Republican-Democratic duopoly on power and restore your right to vote in North Carolina. The Electoral Freedom Act will greatly reduce the number of signatures a new political party has to obtain to get on the ballot from the current unrealistic high of 85,379 in 2010 and 12, and likely even more in 2014. It will make access to the ballot more realistic and voter-friendly with a solid and unchanging 10,000 signature requirement, like our southern neighbor South Carolina requires, and will only require a party to run a candidate for a statewide office in order to retain that ballot access. The bill will also lower the requirement for independent statewide candidates to 5,000 signatures, like Kentucky, and 1,000 signatures for independent congressional candidates, like our northern neighbor Virginia requires. The bill will also eliminate the need for candidates who are going to be write-ins on the ballot to obtain signatures on a petition. The Electoral Freedom Act, though not the end of NC's needed ballot access reform, will bring North Carolina ballot access laws into the realm of sanity and sensibility, and restore the citizens' right to vote, which NC has wrongfully abridged for over a century. At the same time, it will bring North Carolina in line with the other 2/3 of the states in the Union that require 10,000 or less signatures for ballot access, and remove North Carolina from the list of the top most restrictive states in the nation towards the right to vote. Yet, I can't do this alone. The North Carolinians for Free and Proper Election needs your help to make this bill a reality in 2011. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a Libertarian, Constitutionalist, Greene, Whig, Centrist, or even a Republican and Democrat, we need your help. Please look at our bill proposal on our website at www.ncfpe.com. That's www.ncfpe.com. And contact your elected representatives and senators in the state legislature and the candidates running for those offices in your area. Let them know how important this issue is to you, and not only you, but to the liberty and freedom of every North Carolinian, and why they should and must sponsor and co-sponsor the Electoral Freedom Act of 2011. You can even have them contact any of the North Carolinians for Free and Proper Elections board members to learn more about the bill and to get information about the ballot access issue in general. We will be more than glad to speak with them on the issue. Now, I don't like to ask for money, but the North Carolinians for Free and Proper Elections depends on the generous donations of citizens like you to continue in our basic operations and to effectively fight and to organize the push for positive ballot access reform in North Carolina. Please consider making your most generous donation today online on our website or by mailing your donation to the address provided on our site. With your help, we can restore the right to vote for every North Carolinian and introduce real competition and freedom into the electoral process. Thanks for watching, and remember that voting means your choice, their competition, and your freedom. Paid for by the North Carolinians for Free and Proper Elections.